Mimobi bi akwaba eba Melodies TV so. I don't know whether it's part of the plan, but then we are here for it. Ghana ena ye na ye chichiri. Asemba ye ni na ya adwenya yewo ewa asem ne so no. Yebeka. The suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo within the week at the press conference eba betuja na otretre nsemu ni so ekansem ema ye ni na ye te nsemu a eye okan. Na me hu ne se MPP minority ashase epeja defense amano after wababeye press conference no omo kansem president mbra mbekasa de to maame no ene ekon he ene omo kan de omo beka enra me share that spend time every day eye ne nkrata wode babetu dwa na Melodies ebusuanfo mo amonitua ensem amaame ne kan ye no muni na ya kenkan obi ani makenkan ye ni na obi akan ema obi ehu obi akan ema obi ehu ma ye ni na ye hu ne nsem no enti as to whether abawom anase abanim no ye ni na ye hu. But before I continue, to come to asemwa abawom mo fancheme ba me fan fame to come to asemwa abawom enra officially me ba betre mo say ma launch me book a book on health, book on how to lose weight. Obi wo hwa ebia na ne weight no se ne yete no pese wo lose no ebia na enye wo weight pese ba wefu wo pese wefu eso ye den ete se ne wefu aye wo pese ekọ form ma true book na book na enye se ebia me kotena baabi ena me de sa ade no eba eda bi mi ankasa se ne na mefute mo am we read the book no, you've seen my pictures, my old pictures se ne na mefute in my old pictures sisi a no wo hwe amaba benya 6 packs me swati amaye fine mu bebre na mo ato book no. I mean, you are giving a year more review and more my feedback. Nini nano a year. If you want to buy the book, a year electronic ebook, and so you get the book downloaded on your phone and then you read it on your phone. And so if you want the book, Mr. Link no our comment box nimo. Book no it is going for 50 cedis, but because a year Melodies a boost your phone, there is a discount. I'm selling it for 20 cedis. O click here mobile money. Now wait here. Na trese when your book no na we read it. Mr. Don't just read the book, apply the things in the book. Book no it is about my life, it about what the eto me a me ye imagine say me lose weight. What you say? Because you see sometimes you need a reason. Okay, if your why is big, you do it. And so you read my reasons in time, me lose weight, and then you see my before and after pictures. Now also we hear the same thing. In less than 3 months, you are going to see a new self. You are going to see the energy. The truth of the matter is, hey, so reduce weight. And when dia oba benya no. In fact, so ye be makra na won. Na wefu so ne sa nyama na utumi ye na wefu ba form a. Ahondi bia obenya no. Onse mpanyifo wa hanya bibia na yo se meka. Ba ahondi bia wa wo benya na be ye won wa say, "Hey, me pa mini." First, no to me 93 minutes now. Oh, break run and they'll be 1 hour. Na still one break. The American say what you say. Mr. Juana Medibedu. Into the Mr. Wow, Shibiano. Book no. Our comment box. If you don't download the book no. Now open more information. Before I wrote the book, I'm very sorry. I need to talk about the book because it's very passionate about my health. What I say about our health. I'll do a special video on that, but I just need you to understand. Before a year I even started no in the book I wrote in say me koko a year doctor B Emma doctor no ene me kasae Emma me plan na me nya ne nyama doctor ne kra no in the book no ne number ewo ho ne company din ewo ho, and so you can even call the doctor and then you start your journey. A consultancy, you call the doctor and then you start your journey. Mr. Ramo, I need every single listener of this platform to be healthy. A year kesie embroso ni saa yefu kese ne na ma yawe bebre na no eto yen saa stroke ni BP ni saa nyama ni na yen kese embroso nti se utumi reduce weight na wefu esote a ebeboa 20 cedis per auto book na you see the things in it, what you have to do. If you want more and then you need more explanation, my number is there. You can call me, we will talk about it and then you understand what you say. That's that. Anyway, my main semi. Intino, as we were saying, MPP for try say one more day, but and mommy say, and me sorry, and me who say agenda back one. pro MPP for AU so and they say one of the claims are Daniel Ofori etia the suspended Chief Justice no a claim of financial misappropriation in foreign travels by Torkornoo say or de sika wode kokotu kwan nanka eni kwan akwantu awokoye nanka eni kwan say okokoye nyame bia okokoye na one of the issues nti omo tre say omo nya evidence a tre say sansem na yede to ma mene so na ye ntro. That's what they are claiming. Now, benefit of the doubt, I want us to go through the evidence and then we will see what their claim is, right? And then you get to hear my response. And you want to wait for my response because it's a banger. I say evidence claim, and you're from the law platform. It is alleged, say the law platform, the Bakuna will handle platform, we know, or you'll be our Bema, you see, alleged, yes, you are MPP ni, alleged, it is alleged, say the law platform way. MPP ni in fact, so platform way for me, the first platform I mean the leaked petition no a platform way na me hu emra petition no any kwan say babonte no me I saw it on this platform. It is alleged say ma me no nkrofo no problem. You are going to read and then we are going to understand. Now, I say evidence claim of financial misappropriation in foreign travels by Torkornoo false. Now, I say, okay, so let's read. This is a letter, right? More like a memorandum. And I said this memorandum is to the Judicial Secretary, and I copy the Director of Finance from the Honorable Chief Justice. So this was a memorandum from the Chief Justice to the Judicial Secretary, right? And the subject is accountable interest for Tanzania trip. Date 14 September 2023, right? I say this is to kindly forward to you the record of cash disbursed and the remaining sum of 9,588 and 20 cents out of $14,000 being accountable interest given to, okay, I see documentary evidence submitted to the President by Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo, with same forwarded to the Justice Peermine Committee, with copies below, shows the Chief Justice never misappropriated any monies as alleged by Daniel Ofori in the petition to the President. You see, Daniel Ofori aka say Chief Justice no. And for people who don't know, Daniel Ofori is a big player in the Ghanaian Stock Exchange. Who be aware research on the Ghanaian Stock Exchange. I will say Daniel Ofori has shares in banks, what you say, in some of the banks. In I don't know whether I don't have to put that information out, but maybe you'll be researching Ghanaian Stock Exchange, the shareholders, the major shareholders, and it's one of the major shareholders in some few banks are my checks on what you say. So I think that's as far as I can put it. Into Daniel Ofori, no, and the raising issues, say Chief Justice, no, one of the issues, already a lot of issues. Ono no babeka say Chief Justice ni ye bibi ma wo bi nam so man pakuni wu ye ne nsem bebre no. But one of the issues that we raise Chief Justice ne say financial misappropriation. Ne aka say financial misappropriation a sika no de wo say wo de ye na enye no no de kokoye ye. Nti yama 1 cedi. 1 cedi na yama no ye say fakoto in toes. Okoye no sa 1 cedi no odi akwa akoto jeni. Eye financial misappropriation. Ati asiye. Nti sika no ewo maame na so eye emra tre se we no won fanye but one fan konko yesa or the koye bibi fufro. And you see, people need to understand it is a very serious allegation because ye nim na financial misappropriation ye de ni to eno nende ama edubu ahin or that courts or what courts, because the evidence as we know as it is right now no you see edubu ahin edu 49 million edubu ahin you see we do 49 million. Or no so about the list of sales are 49 million or the total cars. Emma Nkrophobia in instance, and one who list our baby, no financial misappropriation, no, because Nasikano also what the Kwakwakoto software. Into cars here also what the Aquakoto Chechama political parties, no, and then the what you say. Into financial misappropriation is a serious thing because I when ye ni ankan sika was say what the hair baby no. Or the bakwa ye bibi ko bisa o sisika ne de me ko ye ni It's a allegation at Daniel Ofori, one of the allegations that will raise it here, no. But omo trese, omo evidence trese, sansem no entro. Also, for ease of read and reference, the allegation of Mr. Daniel Ofori shall be given. The response of the Chief Justice shall follow. Then the letter from the Judicial Service and Judicial Secretary with a bank statement making the allegation of Mr. Daniel Ofori false shall then follow. In the platform, yes, you almost supporting me. And our motor to motre and say, Omo pese yeti asienti. Daniel Ofori allegation, on medical kind atuja. Chief Justice response, and so omo de betuja. No more the letter of the Judicial Service, and so I de atuja. No more the bank statement, so atuja. Na yen yati asiye. Say Chief Justice Nindi Bonnet. That's what they are saying. Me say yeah more benefit of the doubt, and let's go through it. Also, below are allegations 1 to 3 of Mr. Daniel Ofori, who is represented by his long-running lawyer, the learned Tidosori, suggesting that the learned Chief Justice misappropriated funds owing to foreign travels by the Chief Justice with her husband and daughter. And you'll see any Daniel Ofori's allegations. First, in 2023, the Honorable Chief Justice misappropriated the sum of 261,890 cedis of public funds for the benefit of the Chief Justice for her private foreign travel with her husband, Mr. Francis Kofi Torkornoo, and her daughter, Miss Edem S.A. Torkornoo, and $30,000 in per diem allowance when, to her knowledge, neither the husband or the Chief Justice nor the Chief Justice's daughter were entitled to have their travel or any travel allowances paid for out of the fund of the Judicial Service. It's Daniel Ofori in some walking. Daniel Ofori allegations I will make here, and they say Chief Justice no or misappropriate a sum of over 2 billion old cedis. Mekanisa na obeti ase. Nini na ne say oni ne ba eni ne kunu etu kwan. Chia per diem 30,000 every single day. Now can you say Chief Justice no Oyusu say sikano. The second allegation ni also in 2023, the Honorable Chief Justice misappropriated the sum of 75,580 cedis out of public funds for Ethiopian airline tickets for the Honorable Chief Justice and her husband during the vacation of her ladyship to Arusha, Tanzania. The second one no also announced or misappropriate 750 million of a year public funds, Ghana for Sika, for Ethiopian airline tickets. One Nikunu during vacation our call here ewa Tanzania. The third allegation was in 2023, her ladyship, the Honorable Chief Justice, obtained from the Judicial Service an accountable interest in the sum of $14,000 to the Honorable Chief Justice to travel with her husband to Arusha, Tanzania, which he failed to retire. It was in 2023, Chief Justice no obtained Judicial Service. Chief Justice no obtained from the Judicial Service an account interest of the in the sum of $14,000. Obtained from the Judicial Service an account interest in the sum of $14,000 to the Honorable Chief Justice to travel with her husband. In teacher say onya 14,000 and I say or trauma Judicial Service no say nanki yempe $14,000 mano. Na oni ni kunu edi tu kwan. Now, I see response from the Chief Justice. First, second, third allegation, tickets and per diem of Chief Justice. Into Chief Justice, no, a response ni. I say the petitioner alleges that as Chief Justice, I misappropriated the sum of 261,890 of public funds for my private travel with her husband, Mr. Francis Torkornoo, and my daughter, Miss Edem Torkornoo, when, according to him, neither person was entitled to have their travel paid for out of the funds of the Judicial Service of Ghana. My humble response is that the allegation is an unfortunate untruth. Please find herewith the following evidence. Paragraph B1 provides for two holidays for the Chief Justice in a year, with travel expenses, hotel accommodation, and per diem to be borne by the Judicial Service and capped at 14 days per round trip. In the Chief Justice response, now say the first allegation I see over 2 billion old cedis were misappropriate on any kunu and in the bano or see a yendro. Or say as Chief Justice no. Emrama ne kwan se wobeko 2 holidays in a year. Na saa 2 holidays no yebetia akwentuo ka ne yasanso etia hotel accommodation amano. Ni yasanso etia per diem every single day yebema na allowance. Na no, it is capped at 14 days per round trip. To betumi akwa no one trip no 14 days. I say Exhibit 2 is the policy on foreign travels by head of the Judiciary and Superior Court Justice. In the Chief Justice in evidence award trying to say will provide the evidence a tre na kwintu omunsem. And also paragraph A9 provides that the Chief Justice shall undertake unlimited official travels with either his or her spouse or other person of his or her choice in a year, fully funded by the Judicial Service. Paragraph 10 provides that where the Chief Justice is accompanied by the spouse or other person, he or shall travel on the same class of air tickets as the Chief Justice and shall be paid the equivalent of half the per diem to the Chief Justice. Also, this has been the policy of Judicial Service since 2010 as amended in 2019. Please see Exhibit D03. Inti Chief Justice na evidence a what can I say? Ayemra a say Chief Justice no or kwan ya wobetumi undertake unlimited official travels. Ni say official travels are not to say or travel based on ejuma. Inti as the Chief Justice of Ghana no ya ton sa friend say won ko Togo or kwan say wo so otu kwan. Okoba na yasanso tunsa friend say wombra Nigeria obetumi akọ yasanso tunsa friend say wombra South Africa obetumi akọ eno ne official travel. Inti yesi in a year no Chief Justice na evidence na wode aba no or say the Chief Justice shall undertake unlimited official travels with either his or her spouse or other person of his or her choice in a year. In yesi Chief Justice no o two kwan official travel na opa woni ni kunu ebeko anase woni ni kunu anko a ono ankasa pa e wo se wo choose nipa baako no di nipa baako ni di nechi. Evidence a Chief Justice in the abano no na osanso the evidence by ya e trese say Chief Justice no oni ni kunu e na ekwa plane na what team no class na what team no so for business class and ni kunu so better business class. Na aketua ana aketua Chief Justice ne betua no ana aketua ye betua ma Chief Justice no ni kunu no obeje half. Chief Justice evidence no owie no sanso ka say Exhibit D04 is a response to audit observation provided by the Judicial Secretary to auditors who sought clarification on the expenditure on the ticket purchased for my husband and daughter during my 2 holidays in 2023. On page 1 of Exhibit D04, the Judicial Secretary classified that as Chief Justice, I opted to utilize the authorization in paragraph 9 and paragraph 10 of the travel policy to travel with my spouse and my daughter during my 2 holidays taken in September 2023. Pursuant to the conditions of appointment of Chief Justice, in view of this option, there was no infraction occasion when I opted to travel for my 2 holidays with my spouse on 1 occasion and my daughter on the 2nd occasion. The response to observation 1 and response to observation 2 of Exhibit 204 provide explanation on expenditure of tickets for my husband and daughter that petitioner has unfortunately described as misappropriation of public funds by the Chief Justice. Response on page 3 of Exhibit D04 further confirms that Contrary to the unfortunate allegation that I failed to retire interest of $14,000 given to me for my travel, I spent an amount of $4,411 out of the said interest and retired the remaining $9,588. I also attach herewith Exhibit D05 in further proof of the retirement of the interest on 14 September 2023 on my second day at work after the said journey. In September 2023, I fell ill from exhaustion when I traveled in Arusha and had to return to Ghana a day early. In order to ensure that I was able to have one full day to journey to Cape Coast for the annual conference of the Ghana Bar Association. This led to a change and rerouting of my return journey to Ghana through Ethiopian Airline. Page 4 of Exhibit D04 provides information on this. It is therefore unfortunate that the petitioner, an outsider to the records of judicial service, should create the wrong presentation of this expenditure used for the purchase of tickets for the Chief Justice. I wish to state that, as Chief Justice, I neither purchase travel tickets nor determine the per diem issued to me or issued to the aides, security or persons who are required to travel with me. Neither do I authorize the per diem given to me for any journey. The said per diem is determined in accordance with rates set by the Article 71 Committee on Emoluments for the Chief Justice of the Republic. It is also administered by the Judicial Secretary and Director of Finance of the Judicial Service. I am therefore incapable of misappropriating any public funds with respect to a ticket purchased for me or the person accompanying me on a journey or the per diem issued. Indeed, I am not signatory to any account and do not have access to the accounts of Judicial Service. Now, but I'll try to explain. Now, this side, this allegation I make it here, Chief Justice, no, meba. I want to explain so every single person understands. This allegation about the impress I see on Nikunuko Arusha, right? I read it somewhere. Traveled on the same class, blah blah blah. I think this is the allegation. Maybe in 2023, the Honorable Chief Justice misappropriated the sum of 75,580 cedis out of public funds for European airline tickets for the Honorable Chief Justice and her husband during the vacation of Her Ladyship to Arusha. Now, I say in 2023, Her Ladyship, the Honorable Chief Justice, obtained from the Judicial Service an accountable interest in the sum of $14,000 to the Honorable Chief Justice to travel with her husband to Arusha, which he failed to retire. Now, Chief Justice no tu kwan sani America no yebetu an per diem nipa kwa woni ni tu kwan nso yebetu an per diem na per diem no sani amama mwati ase no ye kape no at 14 days. It's natural say utu kwan na e was say yetia per diem. Say per diem, I don't know, but it looks like a bare 1,000 because a 14 day happening at 14 days near a man of $14,000 there. That simply means say $1,000 every single day, right? No problem. Inti say embrane say Judicial Service no. Say wo ko per diem no. And sorry, say wo ko akwentu no, holiday no. Na say ebia wan kwan ko di 14 days. If yama 14 days sika. Senya metra ase no obi ati ase no. Yama 14 days sika. Inti se wo ko na sa 14 days sika no want to me anko di 14 days holiday. Na ko di holiday no 1 day per 2 days per. Oba, I was say wo di sika nkan ne ba. I hope say what you ase. O say wo ko 14 days and I say emra say 14 days spend na obetumi akọ inti yama 14 days sika. Inti wo ko na akọ spend 3 days a na che say, I was say what the rest of the 11 days sika no eba. Inti eno na ye mbra no. allegation na ye say Daniel Ofori ye no ene say Chief Justice no nikunu no 14 days per DM sika no wo call oni nikunu Chief Justice no eni nikunu e call holiday no, one of the holidays a wo mo call ye no a oni nikunu e call ye no Tanzania no omo endi 14 days no na 14 days na wo mo endi no omo baaye no nikunu no nso amfa sika nkan no amba. So you see the allegation. And a Chief Justice nature say, "Ayentro." In the first place, Nipakra work and same way nikrano or ye outsider. Onye obi a wo judicial records. Onye judge. And now onye lawyer. Onim judiciary nimu. Into only a records a bet say. Adi me di sikanaba. Anase me mfa sikanimba. No kwari mini mikunu etu kwan ekọ Tanzania. Na Tanzania na ye kọ ye no. Me kwakọ yare ye. Inti number of days ananke wo se me di wo Tanzania ne kra no. Me ntumi ndi sa number of days no. Inti me sign me chiba Ghana. Na wo tre se owo evidence a etre se o sign ne chiba Ghana no. O di sika no ekọ koma eye the judicial service. Inti Chief Justice in Linsem no. No we ensem wa wasan so kan ye etu aso kran say ono no sebe ye se wa hye sika ono anyo ono no handle sika. I'm just explaining her side so that we all understand. Osi ono na anyo ono no o handle sika. Anyo ono na oye signatory to the bank account. Into ono de obi na edi sika na ema no, the judicial service one na edi sika na ema no. It is all because or no one handle sika, washi sika, and you see, as we are okay. It makes me understand the Justice Jamefe. It reminds me of the Justice Jamefe Commission in 2014. Ghana, Black Stars, Eko Brazil, Eko Kogu Yenimu Semuniamokai. Yes, that was the same thing. Ana Kwesi Nyantechi Walker. Ni ye accuse Kwesi Nyantechi say. We sika we sika na asem obeka ne so no de enyo no yi sika. But you see, it's funny because that's the same thing with the Edubuahin case. Because Edubuahin so beka say enye mi na mi yi sika. By the end of the day, we saw inti what I was saying is say yes, she's providing her evidence and she's saying her case. But on the first side no, maybe I don't have access to the account. Enye mi na mi sika nti yes you be di sika, enye mi na mi di sika. Or the first side ne dia mesre no enye ye wo Ghana ha. Because we know how this country works. Yenim say oye panyin a enye wo na wo handle account there. Na so dia wo kan na nkrofo eye. Edubuahin no say enye wo na no handle account. Now so nipa kra wo handle account na Edubuahin e ma ne order. Sene sika we allegedly, right? Send a certain amount of money we a bank account we mu. Then pakuno so send it. Intino, yenim say you na handle account ni there, but I don't think say it is. I dey be able to me the akasa o dey charge ho. Enye me na me handle account into obi di sika, enye me na me di sika no da bi. But nini nemu no, this is her evidence. What say memorandum. What say sika na wan spend ni na no. Or the then echo back or say accountable interest for Tanzania trip. Or say this is to kindly forward to you the record of cash disbursed and the remaining sum 9,588 out of 14,000 being accountable interest given to me on Friday 1st September 2023 for the trip to Tanzania from 3rd to 10th September 2023. Thank you. Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, Chief Justice. Into what I say, the evidence any, the bank statements any, sikano or they back no, and no, and this is the bank statement. At your say, what say what the sikana then ako back or this sikane call back no, the evidence any, right now. Adiano sisiano ayetu. Na the entire makers ayetu ne say. The allegation from Daniel Ofori was that Daniel Ofori allegation in it. Or see in 2023, Her Ladyship, the Honorable Chief Justice, obtained from the Judicial Service an accountable imprest in the sum of 14,000 to the Honorable Chief Justice to travel with her husband to Arusha, Tanzania, which he failed to retire. Inti yesi ni kunu ne die no e na wan famba. But all being said, the Chief Justice has provided evidence a etrese and alleged evidence a what say ono ni sika ne die or the aba. And now the yemfa ne say ono ni, even though the letter doesn't show say eye ni kunu ne die no, but the technicality is enye ono ne de enye ni kunu ne de sika ne be hye nsem eye ono ne de sika ne be hye nsem ti ye be fa ne say so the sika na ko back ono ono ni kunu ne die ni na eden na ko back, right? No problem. So this is her argument, and this is what she's saying, right? Ninsem ni the walkani, okay. Inti MPP for mu use sa evidence, you know. You see, let's go back to Daniel Ofori, the petitions, no. Daniel Ofori in some way wakan, you know. The issues he raised, 2. 1. I see in 2023, the Honorable Chief Justice misappropriated the sum of 2 billion old cedis, public funds for the benefit of the Chief Justice for her private foreign travel with her husband, Mr. Francis Kofi Torkornoo, and her daughter, Miss Edem S.A. Torkornoo, and $30,000 in per diem allowance when, to her knowledge, neither the husband of the Chief Justice nor the Chief Justice's daughter were entitled to have their travel or any travel allowances paid for out of the funds of the Judicial Service. So what had the main issue? Krana NDC for Sami Jemfimo Edeye Asem Edekasaya. This was the main point. Now, evidence here what be. The evidence is on the second point. I hear say one ni kunu tu kwan kra, one ni kunu ko trade bi different trip. Now one ni kunu ko ye no, ehun sika kra no, ni kunu amfa mba nti ehun evidence on the aba wo tre say ni kunu ne de or the sika ne call back. But send America no. The main issue for Ghana for kra no was the first point. And the first point is that akwentu a wutu ye no. Na wo ni ho kwan se wo ni wo kunu ene oba ebeko. Ena wo ni wo kunu ne oba akọ. Ena makwa spend sika. And I think say that is the main issue. That has been the main issue Ghana for Eka. I don't know whether the American no. What you say na won see. And her response to that, the petitioner alleges that as Chief Justice, I misappropriated the sum of 2 billion public funds to a private blah blah blah. My humble response is that it is untrue. Paragraph B1 provides for 2 days for the Chief Justice in a year with travel expenses. I'll say for 2 holidays for the Chief Justice in a year with travel expenses, hotel accommodation and per diem to be borne by the Judicial Service and capped at 14 days per round trip. Exhibit 2 is the policy on foreign travels by head of judiciary and superior court judges. The Chief Justice shall undertake unlimited official travels with either his or her spouse or other person of his or her choice in a year, fully funded by the Judicial Service. Paragraph A10 provides that where the Chief Justice is accompanied by the spouse or other person, he or she travel on the same class of air ticket as the Chief Justice and shall be paid the equivalent of half the per diem paid to the Chief Justice. So, Chief Justice, no, the first point, no, allegation na ye raise, you say woni uko trip, uni wukunu, ene woba, ene koye, almost spend a Judicial Service for sika. Chief Justice ne answer and say, policy document ne say me tu kwanya, official travel biano. Me to me di mikunu, ene meba, ene ako. Ni bakuna allegation na watre ene say, akwentu a wokoye no, na enye official travel, eye holidays ena wokoye. Right? Is that person's allegation? Or say, the Chief Justice misappropriated the sum, blah, 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 right? That's the person's allegation. Say, call holiday. O di wukunu, ene woba, and ako. Me breaking it down no be as you. I say wo call holiday. Udi uknu ene wo ba and ako holiday no. Wako spend Ghana sika. Ewo moso. Eye misappropriation of funds. I say oh dabi. Ghana mratre say me wo ho kwan say me tu kwan ako official. Metumi di me kunu ana obi ba ko a me amepe aka me ho. Do you get what's going on? Do you get what's going on? Do you understand? I say my humble response is that the allegation is an unfortunate untruth. B1 provides for 2 holidays for the Chief Justice in a year with travel expenses. 2 holidays in a year with travel expenses and per diem to be borne by inti enono ya eye 2 things. Official travel say u tu kwanya kwako ye adwuma no, the requirements are different. U ko holidays are the requirements are different. Into here Chief Justice now said the oye and say oko interchange no. Requirement was say what they call holiday no. Say no they call official trip. And a requirement also what they call official trip no they call holiday. What you say? And even with that krano, I think say someone can even raise an issue to say the policy said woni wukunu anase obi of your choice. That is only nipa ba ko pe nebeko. But woni wukunu ene oba ene koye. Ena wo mo spend the judicial service for sika. That is say yes woni nipa ba ko pe nebeko ba wo kono ne nkrofo tu na akọ. I don't know whether you get that point. But odie yemfa ne say Chief Justice no essay or the evidence aba. Media, you see, sometimes you need to be accommodating. You find say Chief Justice no the evidence aba. In some way, you can't find no or the evidence about what they say or some sort of can be buy. But mind you, say Sikaya was what they buy. No, here I need people to understand what's going on. Okay, and you 2 trips once in the year can. Bakun oni ni kunu ene ne bakoye. That's the allegation. Ena bakun oni ni kunu pe ene ko e was South Africa. Sorry, it was Tanzania, and yes, South Africa, Tanzania. Now, evidence I would ba or say Tanzania, the no, yes, you are call you no man can spend this canny nanty, was sell Nikunu so the Nisikaba, or the evidence I buy a say Tanzania, the no more buy and no more Disikaba. So that is the evidence as is here or more Ediaba. But that evidence, however, does not clear the first allegation I can say. Akwentio na woko ye no nanke ni kwan so okosa akwentio no sika woko spend ye ne nkuni kwan so okoko spend that allegation we and as our evidence we know it doesn't clear the first allegation. I want every single person to understand. Once you understand that for me, we can move on. So 2 allegations and ada no for we make it. Evidence now what the abano. It does not clear the first allegation. You get my point? No problem. Now, even if what the Ayanfan say evidence we can, it is clearing all the allegations. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Right? Let us give her the benefit of the doubt. Say evidence we know clear all the allegations. You see, the truth of the matter is say in Daniel Ofori's petition, it was not only one case in Orezi here. It is evidence ne clear all the allegations ne krana. There were several allegations made on the Chief Justice by Daniel Ofori. Who the Ayanfan say ya bo we yegu, Ayanfan say ya clear we. What of the other allegations? Stated misbehavior allegations no. According to ne no wo. And no, and then I make us say yembongu no. Allegation according to ne no. And then I may say yembongu no. There is another allegation I will say the Honorable Chief Justice without the knowledge of the accused person and his lawyer unconstitutionally interfered with judicial proceedings in a case of Republic versus Jachikwesin. Say Jachikwesin case no, the Chief Justice no, Ababe interfere unconstitutionally. It is also a different allegation. There's also another allegation. Say the Honorable Chief Justice falsely and maliciously accused 2 members of staff of the Judicial Service, namely Francis Baden and Adwa Boatima Prempe, of tampering with the record of proceedings for 19th July 2023 in the case of Republic versus Jachikwesin. The yesi woma national security ekokoye nkrofo nyakayaka de no and also a different allegation. by the same Daniel Ofori. There's also another allegation of say the Honorable Chief Justice arbitrarily, capriciously, unreasonably, and maliciously transferred Francis Baden, the Deputy Director of ICT of the Judicial Service, from the said position to the Regional Administration Judicial Service, Tamale. One family kwan so akwa transfer will be edene bakuna akwa she Tamale. Oni ebusuan woni hwe wo ho. Another allegation, the Honorable Chief Justice in bad faith and arbitrarily and unreasonably transferred the execution proceedings initiated on the directions of the Supreme Court before the High Court, Accra, presided over by the Lordship Justice Lodo, in a suit instituted Daniel Ofori versus Ecobank. Or no Daniel Ofori nankasa, ni case a woni Ecobank fo nyaaye. Or allege say Chief Justice no eye bibitiano. It's also another allegation. Hey, Daniel Ofori allegations I will raise it here, mamino. Bebre, until there, Internameka say, let us give her the benefit of the doubt. Say, allegation we no odia wa clear ne no problem, or the evidence aba. Even though we've gone through the evidence and you've seen, but told you the evidence aba I say wa clear ne no problem. There are more allegations that Daniel Ofori make here. Hey, this is the 14th allegation. 14th allegation went on to the 15th allegation, 16th allegation, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. There are 20 more allegations from the Daniel Ofori poll on the Chief Justice. I am not saying she is guilty. I am not saying she is guilty. All I'm saying is that, don't you think as a Chief Justice, it has gotten to a point where it is worthy for Ghanaians to say, so, okay, in some way, they tools on the doors on the at least, or colleagues be entering committee biano. Say no quarry and I say no quarry. Don't you think that it is right? Say your peninsula. Into the Pakwe issues are raising, including the death of Obi. Say Chief Justice named Ayane Yakayaka Diam and Bakunewu, including the death of that person. Yembo allegations ningu. Maya shishim. Because we tumia babontia babe clear on one of out of over 20 allegations. Is that what the NPP is telling us? Is that what the NPP is telling us? Committee ne juma ne saying. Committee ne nyomo juma. And they say, oh, you better allegations nim. Is that not what they are doing? Inti ene amunamo amos ye Daniel Ofori allegations now they buy no ye who they say you true. Eh, just 1 out of 20. It is on chantro about kumukra 20 na kane. Just 1 out of 21 was the day. It will chantro about kumua 20 na kane. My nyesa ajazie my nyesa. If the Chief Justice is clean, nyankopon be kun ntokwa ma no. Me gidie no. If she is clean, God will fight her fight for her. Nyankopon be kun ntokwa ma no. And she will live to see that victory. Montreal your comment box ni mo me da say.